Today's show is a great conversation with Doron Vermaat, the co-founder of Efty.com. Now, Efty, while they do not do any data mining, they do see tremendous insights, trends in what's going on in the industry today. They develop new features. He discusses new features really for all clients that are coming out in 2019. But we also talk about new ways he's seeing certain types of clients utilize the Efty platform. We do a little bit of screen share to see some different features that they've rolled out. We also talk about their enterprise level integration with quite a few CRMs and so much more. It's a really great show. Enjoy. First, serious about online trading? Secure your funds, keep your merchandise safe, and use a company that keeps the buyer and seller protected the whole way through. That's escrow.com. Payments you can trust.
Efty was built by domain investors to increase your inquiries, sales, and profit. Forget spreadsheets and archived emails. Manage your entire investment portfolio in one place using a secure and completely confidential platform. Learn more at Efty.com. That's EFTY, Efty.com. Hey there, I'm Tess Diaz, executive producer of DomainSherpa.com, and today we're doing a one-on-one interview with the co-founder of Efty.com, Doron Vermaat. Doron, thanks for joining us all the way from Hong Kong. How you doing?
Hey Tess, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Of course, you have long been an advertiser on DomainSherpa sponsoring this free educational opportunity, but I felt like it was time, regardless of that status, to have an update on Efty itself. It's such a valuable platform, and there's been so much talk about it lately. We need to hear what's going on over there. You founded it in 2014, and you're just rolling out your first enterprise level opportunities. Can we start out with some statistics? You good with that?
Yeah, sure. So we started building Efty in 2014. So me and my co-founder Lionel, who's based out of the Netherlands, where actually most of our developers are based as well. And I think we rolled out a beta version of the site after 6 months or so. And Efty started really small. We started a bit like a domain name management tool. So our vision was instead of using a spreadsheet to stay organized, you use like a web-based tool. And we built all these very difficult features to pull in data. We wanted to sync up with all the other platforms. That was the first vision of Efty, but very quickly we realized that what our users really wanted was more like a platform helping them to sell domain names instead of really staying organized. Was nice, but selling domains is even better. So we quickly kind of grew the features and started to build landing pages, and later on users could very quickly launch their own marketplace site with Efty. And that's when we really started to grow really quick, because instead of charging a commission on sales, we decided we would just ask our users for a small monthly or annual subscription fee. So the moment sellers realized they could use our landing pages and sell domains without paying commission, we started to grow really fast. And so we're a few years in now, and I'm more than happy to share some statistics. So currently we have more than 1,000 active paying sellers on the platform. We had probably a few thousands over the years, but obviously people come and go within the industry. But we're currently more than 1,000 sellers active on the platform. And together they're managing more than 900,000 domain names through Efty. Not all of those domains are necessarily parked with us. Around 1/3 of these domain names are hosted with our name servers. And last month in September, we these landing pages reached just under 3 million unique visitors.
My goodness, that's a lot of
Yeah,
traffic.
it is
Now,
a lot of traffic, and yeah, that's also probably one of the biggest growing pains of FD. When we started to grow really quickly, it's suddenly you have to deal with a huge influx of traffic and all sorts of things that come with that. And that's something we've been working very hard on over the years to make sure that it all runs smoothly. Yeah.
yeah, I bet. So 900,000 domain names with 1,000 users.
More
Is your
than 1,000
account?
users. Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Is your average user have 900 domains, or do you have like I know at GoDaddy, for example, last I knew their average client had 5 to 20 domains,
Okay.
but there were
Yeah.
clients with
Yeah.
enterprise
So
level.
if you would just divide that number by the number of users, you'll probably end up with an average of like 700 to 800 domains per user. Um, so currently, before we rolled out a enterprise solution, Efty was offering 3 different tiers: a basic plan up to 50 domains, and a growth plan up to 1,500 domains, and a professional plan for up to 5,000 domains, which used to be our largest plan. And traditionally, most of our users, like more than 60%, has always been in the growth plan. So you could say that most of our sellers always had a portfolio of less than 1,500 domains. And I think when I look at myself, I have a small investment portfolio. I own around 500 to 600 domain names. And I think I'm kind of like the average type of, investor, who has a portfolio on the side.
That's really neat. I've always felt like FD was so good at listening to its customer feedback and making adjustments. And maybe that's why, because you're the average user.
Yeah, no, I mean, FD was really built because I was looking for a better solution for my own portfolio when I started to invest in domain names. So it's always, we started building it around my needs, and very quickly we started listening to user feedback, doing surveys, and the way the platform has evolved over the years is purely based on popular requests from our users. So yeah, that's spot on.
Okay, so tell me about, you said, I don't recall the percentage you said, but a certain number of domains are not on FT's landing pages. So how
Correct.
are those found? So when you go to FT.com, you get the offer to sell more domains, not to buy them.
Sure. Sure.
So walk me through that.
Good question. A lot of people have asked us over the years, where is the FT marketplace where I can find all the domains from FT sellers? Well, we're not really in that business. We're not a marketplace. We're like a sales platform, like software as a service. And but FT sellers can create their own marketplace. So we have a lot of users who maybe park their domains with a uni registry or an afternic, but they use FT to host their own domain name marketplace where their buyers can go and search their entire inventory. So about 1/3 of the domains on our platform are parked with us on our landing pages, and the rest is parked somewhere else, but users are still managing these domains within FT so they can showcase them on their own portfolio side. And of course, FT is also used by a lot of users, not necessarily for selling them through our platform, but they want to use our management tools. Because when you input all your domains in FT, we pull in like who is data and so on. So we also have users who might use another sales platform, but they use FT to keep track of renewals, and so on. Yeah.
Wow. Oh, that's a lot of options. Okay. So, and when
Yeah,
you
we
said
have a
your
lot of
3 million
features.
visitors, that's really only for 300,000 out of the 900,000 domains then.
Yeah, so last month we were just under 300 users. So in terms of page views, we do a ton more than that. But that's the unique visitors we had to the landing pages, and that's just on the domain names that are parked with us. Yeah.
Okay. Um, is there a, not to put you on the spot, but can I see, do you have an idea of an example of someone who I could go to their page and then see their whole FD portfolio there?
Yes. So there's basically two core features of the Efty platform. We have the landing pages, and then we have the marketplace feature. And some users only use the marketplace, others only use the landing pages. So if you want to have a example of a FT powered landing page, you can go to viral.com, or you can go to ai.com. And these are FT powered landing pages. Or another example of FT powered landing page is when you go to hug.com. That's more like one of our older themes.
Okay.
But if you want to see an example of a portfolio, so a FT powered marketplace, um, a portfolio which has been covered quite a lot within the domain name industry, blogs and news is, for example, portfolio of Brent Oxley, who previously sold HostGator, and he owns a lot of ultra premium .coms. His portfolio is on oxley.com. So that's oxley.com. That's an example of an FT powered portfolio site.
This is
And
amazing. So he has his own branded Oxley logo, and then this very catchy um,
yeah, so this
landing
is
page,
yeah.
and then you can pull
It,
to a category. Now, did FD create each of these logos, or did
no,
he create them individually?
we're not in the business of logo design, but with FT you can upload logos for your portfolio, and a lot of our users do that for some of their best domains.
So they can
So
upload that inside FD, and then wherever they connect, it'll pull
yeah,
up. So I opened
yeah,
zombie just in Halloween theme here, or
mm-hmm.
create.com. And then this is pretty typical FD landing page, except all with his logo and his giraffe background. That's pretty wild.
Yeah. So this is actually like an older design that Brent is using for his marketplace. We quite recently added two brand new marketplace designs that are a bit more modern, even though this one is still very popular and I like it a lot too.
Okay.
For example, if you go to my own personal marketplace, you can see a more recent design, and my marketplace is hosted at namerockstar.com.
NameRockstar.com.
Yeah.
Okay,
So
so this is a newer,
this
uh,
is a
yeah.
much more one of our recent themes, and if you go over the logos, you can see that they pop up
Boom,
like
make an
that.
offer or favorite it.
Yeah, you can favorite it, and then the domain names are saved.
Okay, so that's a little
Um,
more catchy than this boring make an offer
well,
here.
it really depends on what you like. It's just I wanna, as an example,
Okay.
um, we keep adding new themes because things change on the web, right? So design trends change. Um, there's flat design, minimalistic design. So a lot of the new themes are more based on current design trends. But
Okay.
even the marketplace themes we started out with are still hugely popular. Yeah.
Okay. And
So
then these categories look very customized, but I see on your new one and on Brent Oxley's landing page, there are quite a few categories. So these, it looks like you must be able to create inside Efty and then roll them out if you like. And you can create what the categories are yourself, or
yeah,
Efty offers a bunch of
we have a
choice.
bunch of default categories you can choose from, but you can also create custom categories. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Because like X realty or reality, it must be custom, right?
Yeah, yeah,
Reality. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay. And then tell me about this. Or is this coming up later? So there's make an offer is the one choice. And
yeah,
the other choice, I was on Gaming Hero and it's a buy now. And I
yeah.
see this stripe option. So, and tell me if you want to wait and talk about this later.
We
Um,
can we can talk about that now.
so is this like at GoDaddy, you just pay your credit card? It's not like going through an escrow or what, and there's an instant transfer.
Yeah.
What's happening
So
here with no escrow?
if you so with FT currently we have three different payment integrations. We have escrow pay, so that's powered by escrow.com. So we do have a licensed escrow partner. So escrow has been a long-term partner of FT, and they're integrated in the platform. But we also have a integration with both PayPal and Stripe, and that's really if you instantly want to take money for a domain, but then there's no escrow partner in between. So, you basically, if someone hits the buy it now button and you use PayPal or escrow, you just receive an email like, hey, you've been paid like 2,500, 3,500. And then it's your sole responsibility as the seller to then go into your FT account, get the contact details of the buyer, and then get in touch to transfer the domain name. So it's a
Interesting.
really fast way to get paid, but obviously by using PayPal or Stripe, there's also risks involved because someone can do a chargeback after you've transferred the domain. So we really advise it to use it for lower value domains. And if you have like, 5-figure domain name, then you should probably want to use our escrow integration. Yeah.
Got it. Makes sense.
Instead
Makes
of
sense.
PayPal. Yeah.
Okay. So, as we're looking at these, the portfolio type, I understand that you've seen another shift in how folks are utilizing the FD platform, especially with brokers. And personally, I happen to know, and we didn't discuss this before or anything, but I happen to know, Media Options is now listing quite a few of its domains on like the lower value domains. We're listing them on Efty. We see Efty getting a lot of traffic. But tell me, I didn't know before we started this call and chatted prior to recording that it sounds like a number of brokers are doing this and seeing this as kind of an ancillary or complementary tool for their brokerage. Or how would you describe that, or give me a bigger picture than just the little bit that
Sure.
I have?
So we have a lot of our users are brokerage, like boutique brokers, but also from some of the large brokers, we see individual brokers paying for their own FT subscription just to put the occasional name on the platform. And I think currently we have around 15 or so of our users are brokerage. So most of the brokers, well-known brokers, have an FT account. Um, why do they use us instead of maybe parking the domain on like a marketplace or their own solution? It's most likely the main reason is FT is a commission-free sales platform, right? So if you're brokering a high-value domain name, you don't want to pay any type of commission to a marketplace, right? Because you're doing all the work. Even if you're doing inbound brokerage, you're handling the leads, you're closing the sale. So FT not charging a commission, only a monthly fee. That's I think the main reason that a lot of brokerage
So it's just
You,
it's really as a management tool more than
yeah,
anything else.
and of course, if you have a high value domain name and you do brokerage for it, then you get a lot of inbound leads. And when you park the domain on an FT for sale landing page, you control that customer information, that data, it's all yours. So at FT, we have a very clear government that we do not have access to sales data. We don't do brokerage ourselves. We do not have our own portfolio like GoDaddy has NameFind, Uniregistry has Frank Schilling's portfolio. So we do not have our own portfolio of names to sell. So we do not analyze sales data on the platform or mine data. So
Does
that's quite
anyone else approach it that, I mean, that's very, very private. Is there, I don't think there's anyone else on the market, any other, platform like that.
um, well, with GoDaddy now owning a really large portfolio themselves and Uniregistry having a very large portfolio, you could say a marketplace who doesn't own their own portfolio is a Cedo, for example. But Cedo, on the other hand, they do brokerage, so there's always kind of this conflict of interest.
Right.
And obviously, with the Cedo, you will be paying a commission if you park with them. So a broker will not put a high value name on the Cedo landing page because one of the things that makes FT so powerful is when you get an inquiry through your landing page, you'll get the name, email address, phone number, and the IP address of the person that's sending the inquiry or the offer. So you have all the customer data you need to do some due diligence or research on the lead.
Okay.
And if a marketplace or platform holds back any of that information, you have less tools as a broker to work a lead and close a sale. So zero commission, full access to customer information when someone makes an inquiry. That those will be the two main reasons I think a lot of brokers are using the platform. And of course, we have more than 40 different landing page designs. You can write your own text on the landing page, your own bullet points. So there's lots of customization, lots of choice. Yeah.
That's neat. What made me reach out to you, although this has been, a long time, I want to say percolating,
Mm-hmm.
was I saw the FD announcement about the integration with Zapier and that you're building out for your first enterprise level clients. So Zapier, you rolled that out, what, about 2 weeks ago? And
Yeah.
seeing that, I mean, it is it, sorry, I should just let you from the beginning instead of trying to frame it just right.
So Zapier is, let's maybe start with explaining what is Zapier because
Okay.
not everyone knows Zapier, but Zapier is a platform. It's a marketplace for web applications where you can connect these web applications with each other. More than 1,500 web applications are listed on their marketplace. This could be anything from Google Docs, like Google Sheets, Gmail, to all sorts of customer relationship management tools like Salesforce, HubSpot, Close.com, to email clients like MailChimp or chatbots, ManyChat. I don't know, Spotify, Shopify, you name it. There's like pretty much all of the big web applications, project management tools, like Asana, Basecamp. They're all on Zapier. And what Zapier allows you to do is to create workflows between two different apps. Um, so by listing Efty and integrating with Zapier, you can now send a incoming inquiry on a domain with an offer uh, from Efty directly to your customer relationship management tool. So let's say someone makes an offer on viral.com and the company who owns this domain is using maybe HubSpot Sales or Close.com. the name, phone number, email address, IP address of that potential buyer goes straight into their CRM, where their salesperson can then start working the lead. Or in other examples, you can create a SAP, as they call it, when you create two apps on the platform, they call it a SAP. So you can create a SAP between Efty and Slack. So whenever you get an inquiry on a domain, your team is notified through Slack. Or what I do personally is, even though Efty is really good for keeping track of your domain names, and I've built a SAP that inputs all the inquiry data from Efty into Google Sheet. Um, you still have all your data within like Google Docs, um, and you can choose which columns, etc. It's really cool, and most important, you do not need any code, so you can just go onto Zapier and it's just kind of drag and drop and say what you want to do. So we built this
No code.
for.
That's a big deal, especially, some of the smaller brokerage firms might not have, all the resources, or just nobody wants to invest the resources if you don't need to.
No,
And
no.
this really sets you up for those enterprise clients. What kind of size portfolio are you looking at? So you have your first few enterprise clients testing it out now before you release it to the general public, right?
Yeah, so previously we kept the number of domains for sellers at 5,000. So when we launched FT, we introduced two plans, and the biggest plan went up to 5,000 domains. And what we saw is that most of our users actually fell within that, in that range anyway. But there's like a lot of people in the industry who own more than 5,000 domains, and some of them they own 10,000. But there's companies out there that own 100,000, 200,000 domains. And over the years, we've always had to turn these companies down because we were just not confident enough in the if the platform was robust enough to handle the traffic and so on. Um, so over the last year or so, a lot of the work that was done on Efty was done on the back end. So we didn't necessarily ship a lot of like new features, but we did a lot of work in making sure our name server setup is much more stable and robust. So loading pages have improved a lot. Landing pages, marketplaces, everything is super fast now, and we're finally ready to host these really large portfolios because we can handle the traffic now.
Okay.
We onboarded our first enterprise client. So we're in October now. At the end of last month, and this is 40,000 domain portfolio, and it's just fine for us to manage that kind of large portfolios now. So enterprise is now officially open, and we can do portfolios up to 100,000 domains. Yeah.
Oh, I didn't realize it is open. Congratulations. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
Up
Yeah.
to
So
100,000 now.
yeah. So we're ready for any enterprise user. And we start with doing portfolios up to 100,000 domains. But if you're a business and you have maybe 150 or 200,000 domains, just contact us, and we can probably work with that too. Yeah.
Sure. Wow. So tell me, what trends are you seeing in domain sales? Even though you don't mind the data, give us some real examples, some domains that you've recently seen sold, some trends that you're noticing this quarter.
Okay, so I'm just going to speak from, I guess, personal experience and kind of what I see in the marketplace. Like I said, we sit on a lot of sales data at FT, but we do not analyze it, and so we only hear what our users tell us, and we always love to hear about sales made through the platform, and with a lot of our customers, I speak quite often. So I get a lot of information kind of feed to me. But as a company, we don't really mine that data or analyze it. But let's just maybe talk a little bit about what's been discussed a lot lately within the industry, especially the last couple of weeks. There's been so much discussion about the use of two alternative extensions. I think actually Chris Sauker from Media Options just posted a video on LinkedIn. I think it was named "This is the one extension you shouldn't use for your startup," and this discussion was about .co. But another extension I see kind of fall in that same area is .io, and there's a lot of sales happening in these two extensions, and there's lots of love, but there's also kind of lots of hate in the industry. Well, not hate, that's a strong word, but some people are kind of biased because they own domains in these extensions. But there's a lot of people who say there's only .com, and anything that's not .com is just rubbish. So there's lots of kind of discussion about that. But when you look at the sales data, then it's really clear that a lot of strong keyword domains within .co and .io sell really well lately. And I'm really talking about short, brandable, one-word domains in those extensions. But I think the main reason for this is that a lot of these premium .coms are like off the market these days. So it's the ideal situation for a company, of course, is to own the exact match.com for their business. But if your company is called I don't know, bold or brisk or like a rise, or one of those words that is taken in 200-300 different extensions already, then you currently have two choices. You can go for .com with a prefix for it, like getrise.com or hello, we are rise.com. So you can still stick with the .com.
Flywheel.com, but everyone
Yeah.
calls it flywheel, and every time I gotta type in flywheel.com, then it's that's not it. What was that stupid?
Exactly. So what you see now is that a lot of these newer startups are saying, all right, we're just going to spend like $5, $10, $15, $20,000 to get flywheel.io or .co.
Yep.
And
you kept mentioning the CRM close.com, and I've always called them close.io, even since I forget how long ago they bought close.com, but in my head they're still close.io, and that's okay.
This is a great example. I mean, when they acquired close.io, they get so much praise from the domain name industry because they finally own their matching.com, and it's great. It's an awesome move. But what if close.com was already off the market, right? It's in use by another real business. So there's literally zero chance of owning that domain in the future. So then what's the choice you have? Are you going to get with maybe getclose.com, which sounds kind of strange, getclose.com, or you're going to stick with close.io or close.co? Anyway, so there's lots of discussion about it. There's people who really should never use .io or .co because of you will leak emails to the .com. There's traffic leakage to the .com if you use another extension.
Well, it's a delicate balance, because you have to build your startup with the funds that you have and allocate them appropriately. And then when you grow to a certain point, if you have too much email bleed or the cost of your marketing is outweighing the cost of buying the domain, especially if it's still available like close.com was, then it's worth it. And so I just looked real quick. It was April of this year, April 2019, that close.io announced the acquisition.
So my opinion on the whole matter is that as domain name investors, okay, our job is not to decide for companies what's best, okay? So it's not our job to say, oh, you're going to leak email traffic, or you need .com because of this, this, and this, and try to be an expert on SEO or online marketing. As an investor, your job is to buy domains that sell. Okay, right? We're investing in domains to make a profit. So we're not domain name advisors, we're domain name investors, right? So if you're smart, you stop saying, oh, these companies are stupid, they should buy my .coms. Just, look where the market is and see what founders do. If they're buying oneword.cos or .ios, then that's where they spend their money. You better be there with your investment, right? So um, that's the way I see it. It's not our job to tell companies what's best. It's our job to have those domains that companies want and they want to pay money for. Because it's not that companies hand register these .cos. No, they buy them for 10, 15, 20, 30 grand. And if you pay attention, so that would be the trend I'm seeing. If you pay attention, you see these companies paying a lot of money for these uh, tier second tier extensions. Okay, so you can say, oh, they're doing I think they're not doing a good job at how they run the company, but that's not our job as domain name investors. It's our job to make money, right, with our portfolio. So just buy what companies are buying. That's the way I see it.
Doron, you
And
have such a practical approach and a very, what to say, a very centered, like you're not trying to change anyone else, just to create a management system for the way that the system is, or the way that people see things. That's really a neat perspective. Very
well,
satisfied. That's what I wanted to say. Very satisfied
for
perspective.
for me as a vendor, like I'm an investor, but that's second. My first, I'm like in the domain name industry. I think my first role is being like a supplier of software. So it's in my best interest to see investors are doing well. They're making money on their investment, because if people new enter the industry and they lose money, they might have an Efty subscription for 1 or 2 years, but then in the end they cancel it. They leave the industry. So,
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
and I think that's also why we were so happy with Mike Steiger investing in Efty, because his mission really aligns with ours. We want to see people do well with their domain investment, and what Mike has done with first DomainSherpa, now DN Academy, is exactly that, making sure that people do well on their investment. Then as Efty, we win too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great perspective. So what are your thoughts about the future, Doron? What do you see happening, through the end of 2019 or in 2020 in the domain world in
Um,
general?
so we have a couple of cool things still coming up for Efty this year,
Oh,
because
really?
yeah, I mean, I understand us doing enterprise is not so exciting for most of our users because it's not a new feature for them, right? But before the end of this year, we're launching something very cool. Um, because we had so many investors over the years who really like our landing pages, but they do not necessarily want to use the marketplace feature, but they do want to host our landing page designs on their own URL. So they're fully in control of the experience of their users. So we're gonna kind of like building a hybrid type of marketplace in which you can plug in your own custom domain, and then all of the Efty for sale landing pages you can host on that custom domain, which is SSL secured. So you have like SSL secured landing pages powered by Efty, but then on your own domain name. Yeah, and so that kind of sits in between our landing page feature and the marketplace feature. So it's a bit of a hybrid type of product. Um, Hopefully I'll do a better job at describing it once we roll it out. But
When do you
this is,
think you'll roll it out?
I think maybe by the time this show will air, maybe
Okay.
so, it's already we're beta testing it. So I think maybe a week or two from now that should be live. And
Very exciting. Okay. And what else? You said a couple things. Don't hold back.
yeah, we're working on some new landing page designs as well. So we'll be adding more options to the for sale landing pages on the platform, and we're actually quite open to crowdsource some ideas. So people actually share with us all the time what they want. They say, I want to have a landing page where you can do this and this. But if you're an Efty user and you have ideas about landing pages, stuff you're currently missing, just let us know, because we will be adding a few more designs to the platform before the end of the year.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Very cool. All right. What do you think about in the domain industry in general? Did you vote for someone for the ICA was doing
I
um,
haven't I haven't voted the Lonnie Brock
the Lonnie
Memorial.
Bork Award
Uh,
nomination
yeah, I
for a
haven't
big
voted
contributor to the
yet.
domain community?
I need to have a really good look at who's been nominated. I know Elliot Silver and Mike Seiger have been nominated. Those are both guys I think deserve to be nominated.
Yeah.
But I need to have a good look at everyone. I will absolutely make sure I'll put in a vote.
Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing the results of that and celebrating each person who contributes like that at NamesCon in Austin. So,
Yeah, of course we'll be there. So I'm looking forward to see our users. There's
yeah.
always so many of them at NamesCon every year, so that's always.
Will your co-founder Lionel be there as well?
He's been with me to Vegas like 2 or 3 times, and then at one point he said, because he's not a domain name investor, so 3 days of being surrounded by these crazy people only talking domains is quite something for if you're not investing yourself. But maybe now, since it's going to be in Austin, he might join it again, because it was mainly after a few times Las Vegas you've kind of seen the place as well.
Yeah.
And so he might actually come with me to Austin. I still need to talk with him about, but I'll definitely be there this year, because for me, NamesCon is definitely a highlight. I think the new owners are also doing a fantastic job at, at, at how they run the conference, and every
Yeah,
year
they're
it
putting
seems to
together
be
some
bigger and
amazing
better.
things for this year. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm really excited. I'm excited for a different venue. I'm not a big fan of Vegas in general. I love Austin, and I'm really excited for the conversations and the type um, of momentum that they're looking to
Yeah.
help. I want to say like build to help build. I'm looking for a different word, but but
Yeah.
I would love to meet Lionel. I have not personally met him, and I promise that I can have a conversation that's not about domains.
He's a lot of fun, and I think a lot of people have met him over the years, because I used to drag him to conferences all the time, and perhaps I'll be successful one more time. But the NamesCon Europe event, I think I'll definitely be there next year, because those are just very, they're nearby. So Lionel's based in the Netherlands, and so we'll definitely be at both the global and the European one.
Good,
Yeah.
good. Well, Doron, thank you so much for your time walking us through this. Thank you for all your service to the industry. I'm excited to see what happens next with Efty.
Thanks, Tess.
All right, we'll see you next time. Bye, Doron.
Yeah.